Good morning, everyone. I'm Manish from Crest Business Solutions. We are basically an IT services company, and here is my number details, and you can connect me. You can connect me on LinkedIn. Uh, so a quick brief on Crest Business Solutions. We are mainly Microsoft partners. We provide services in the areas of BI, CRM, ERP, and software development, all those things. Then, so I'll move on to the, so today's agenda is for uh, business analyst for BI. See, nowadays things are evolving and things are changing in terms of how the IT used to be some 10 years or 20 years back. It has changed quite a lot. Uh, there will be where there is, like previous days, we used to develop a software application, and then we used to come up with collect the data and all those things. So nowadays we are not worried on that area, that we are having a software application which is collecting the data. We are more towards the analyzing the data and all those things, which has created an insight in terms of like how we utilize the data which we have, or utilize the data which is available in market and available at the open areas where we can tap on that data, and we can come up with the utilization of data and information for our business. So today's basically what we are going to discuss more on the BA for BI. So in business analyst for BI, we are going to keep the direction from the perspective of how we are going to do the business analysis, and what the key roles of a business analyst, and what it is in the direction for the BI from the BI point of view. So when we look at, there are two areas where we look at management perspective. A business analyst should understand the management perspective. So normally nowadays the management perspective is changing a bit, where the management and the stakeholders of the organization are looking at how I run a business from the point of view of BI. Means like I should have data, I should have points, I should have something to take a decision, I should have a supporting decision, which used to be like previously where, hey, today is weather change, I will do this. So thought process have changed now. Now today the decision will be like, hey, weather change, and I should have the weather change, and I should analyze that weather change and look at how I am going to do business today. So that is there, which is the management perspective, which we need to be pretty clear in terms of, because the whole job of the business analyst is to understand the management perspective as well, and understand the perspective of the BI professionals. So he's basically kind of an intermediary. Now, when we talk about business analysis objective, so the whole objective of business analysis is for the BI purpose is basically to have the clarity. So I should, if I am a business analyst, I should have the clarity on how to gather requirement, how to make use cases, which is relevant for the purpose of the BI and analytics. Now here I am using two words, BI and analytics. So we are now, what we are going to do is we are going to set the ground in terms of the terminologies and terms used, which we are going to use. What are the differences in those terms, so that you all have the clarity in defining those things over there. So we are going to discuss on what is BI, what a BA need to do, what do you expect from a BI application, all those things over there. So here in this slide, what we are going to talk about is what is BI. So if we define business intelligence, so business intelligence is quite a broad category. Actually, it's a term given in terms of like the whole objective is the set of applications, technologies for which are used for the gathering, collection of the data, storing it in a system, analyze the data over there, and providing access to that data so that enterprise it, and this in a useful manner, is the whole data can be presented in a manner which it can give you the information to make your better decisions. So basically what we do, we call business intelligence is that the set of the applications, what applications we are going to use, which technology we are going to use. We are going to have that data stored with us. Now with that data, we will analyze, we will provide, we will make it useful so that our businesses or the management or the team leaders or those inside the organization will be able to uh, give the will be able to make decisions, and those decisions are supported by the facts and figures and numbers and the data. So it will be easier for people to make faster decisions. Otherwise, it is more a guessing game. So that is what we define BI as. So a standard definition we can term is like a broad category of applications and technologies for gathering, storing, analyzing, and providing access to the data so that we can help organizations to make better decisions. Now, we are going to use this term BA for BI a lot over there. So BA for BI is like business analysis for BI. So what we are going to use is for the set of tasks. The set task, basically the activities which a BA is going to perform in line with the BI knowledge and techniques which are required so that to identify the business intelligence needs and determine the solution. So it keeps quite a number of things. One is like task knowledge techniques. These are my skills. So as a BA, I should have that skills in terms of, and I should have the supporting tools and technology in place so that I can identify the needs for the business intelligence purpose, and I will be able to determine the solution for the enterprise. So that is what BA for BI is going to stand for. Now this BA, when we are talking about the BI part, one of the very most important aspect is we should understand the whole scope within an enterprise. So within an enterprise, if we are looking at, see, there are users. Who we call users? Users are basically the person, the employees of the organization. They are the one who are working within the organization and creating the data. Like they are filling some form. For example, in HR, they are filling leave application form. For example, let's say in finance, they are keying in the data entry for ledgers and all those things. So they are the users of the system. So what they do, they basically use the system, and systems are the one which creates data in place. Now systems, when we talk about, it can be even in Excel, the records which are in the form of tables, or even even the paper is your system where you keep a record of the data and information. Now that data have to be translated into a electronic form where you can make use of it. So that is what we have pretty important in terms of the data collection. So users are the one who create data, and this data is to be analyzed. Now, what I would like to know is what this data I have, what this data says. So that is the job of BI, what this data says. Now, a lot of times this is a confused term that is it a BI or a BA? I expect analysis. I expect analysis. So analysis, what is the difference between intelligence and analysis and analytics? So mostly what happens, my existing data, what it says, I will come with an outcome and I will look into that data and I will create the understanding. So that is what we call it BI, the understanding of my data. Understanding of my data in the form of information is business intelligence. When we talk about my future, so data is basically what data is created over here is actually the past. So in the past, what have happened, I will look into that information to use it. So that is business intelligence. Now in future, I want to know from my past data that how the future is going to look like. How, let's say I have some sales happened in past and I see that, okay, January, February, March, the sales happen like that. And then in a holiday season, the sales drop, or in holiday season, sales increase. So with that concepts, what I'll do, I'll use that concept to extrapolate, to further check out that how it is going to look like in future, maybe next year, how it is going to look like. That we call it analysis and business analytics. So there are two differentiations which we do from BI and BA. So, business analytics is basically what is have happened and what is at present is business intelligence. What is in future looks like is business analytics. And then from their perspective, now the management got two perspective. What my data says, what my future going to look like. And then I can look from the perspective, hey, I can improve. Can I improve further on my uh, uh, prospective future? That is where they have the facts and figures in place. So that is what we are going to have the end-to-end. Now, what is the BA role? BA role comes from here to here in terms of to understand what I am going to look for and what my management needs, what my users are doing. And users are doing, creating the information and then consuming that, using that information over there. So that's where we come in this next slide, where we are going to talk, give points in terms of what to look for business analyst. If you're planning to get into a business analyst, because a different role, business analyst can be anyone in their own domain, expertise area. The only thing they need is, see, if I am a finance expert, I only need how the tools are going to help me out. How should I look for the alternate, or how should I present my information in a better format with the help of the tools and technologies? So any person with that kind of acumen and some knowledge related tools and technologies will be able to do the business analysis, and they will be able to help the organization within. So so basically, one of the key role which a business analyst do. So that terms I can understand when we go and interview people and talk all of that. They understand they come out fresh graduate and they want to become business analyst. Now, the challenge here is they don't have the domain knowledge and domain expertise and all those things. So see, the business analyst is basically the person who is actually going to bring the change within an organization, because the business is continuously going on. There is a way business is running in. There are the value chain which business have created, the needs which it has created for the organizations. Now, the change which is looking for is for the improvement, right? And the standard practice which is happening in the business, how to modify that to bring a change and to have the better improvement of the business performance. So that is something which a business analyst need to do. So business analyst should be a pretty strong person. If let's say that person is not having the skills or experience, they must be able to capture the business domain faster, because he need to understand the business perspective over there. So bring a rationale for change is one of the important aspect of a business analyst. Then design and describe solutions. Now, when the business analyst need to describe the solutions to deliver the value to the organizations, right? He need to have some knowledge related to the tools and technologies, or at least how these tools and technologies will behave, what they will come out with that. And then the person is going to be a bridge between the IT and business team. So he's the key person, because if we gather wrong perspective, IT guys are followers. The computer is like a follower. You will tell me 2 + 2, I'll give you the answer 4. So IT developers or engineers are like that. You will ask me to develop this, I will develop this. You will ask me A to B, 2 + 2, 4. I will give you the result of 2 + 2, 4. So this is the job. So the person should be must be a good communicator in terms of understanding the perspective of management and bridging the gap between the IT team and the business teams. So business users are basically because they are into business, they are doing the activity, a transactional activity of day-to-day work. So they're pretty expert in that day-to-day work, and they get habit developed in that day-to-day work. So if I have my standard habit developed in the day-to-day work, uh, I can ignore a lot of things which I don't tell or inform IT or business analysts. So that is where BA should be able to uncover those kind of requirements. See, just like I'm driving a car, so I know traffic light is coming in with a blink of eye. I just the whole body reacts and everything is done. I can brake the car, I can stop the car, I can take left or right. So this is like it becomes a habit of driving on the same road again and again and again. I can drive without paying much attention. So that is the same thing like how business teams work, because they are doing on day-to-day basis. They will be habitual to do that, so they will not be able to translate the business requirement to the BA in such a manner, because they have this habit of doing the thing in a perfect manner, and then the things which are ignored means like these are not required to be told. So BA needs to understand those aspects and able to translate those into an IT, because what IT expects, IT or the developers or the engineers expect is like, you tell me if you have to do A plus B plus C minus D, so I will do that. If you tell me A plus B plus C, I'll do that. But I should have all the inputs in place. If the inputs are not there, then I will develop, I will come back with some assumptions, and assumptions can be a problem. So that is there. Then, as I said, we need to understand the management department goals and objectives. So then prepare the documents, gather the requirement over there. So once you understand the functional requirement, what business do, how they are doing it, what they are going to uh, record in the systems, which things which are they are recording, which they are not recording. Based on that, I will develop the requirement, and based on that, I will split that requirement and further go and develop the use cases. Now, use cases are the individual scenarios which I am going to develop, and I'm going to give these use cases to IT so that IT can further develop that in a system and able to give you and demonstrate, able to give you the uh, outcomes of there. So that's where we have this. Then one thing which we have added, basically, the business analyst should be able to demonstrate the possible outcomes. So is a kind of a consulting role, kind of a things that what can be the possible outcome. For example, let's say you are using AutoCount ERP, which is I've seen most of the companies are using, or any other ERP solution where we are putting the things. Now, questions like, do you know that which area, which location you have maximum customers, or which location you have maximum deliveries? Which ERP systems are, and these traditional systems are not going to tell, because your data is not tagged with the location. So these kind of insights which BA should be able to provide to the end users and possible outcomes, so that it can help them to imagine and help them to give more information which is in regard to that system or which they are doing it over there. Then provide guidance to BI developers. So basically to give the whole guidance that, okay, this all is there, so I'll become an intermediary as a business analyst, and then I'll be demonstrating I'll be guiding the developers, because developers thinks from the perspective of mathematics. As I said, computers, you can give them 2 plus 2, they will give you the result 4, then you will say, hey, I want 10. So the 6 is missing. So that's the job of a business analyst, to assess and bridge that gap over there between the IT and the business team. And then how a business analyst is going to look into it, if we talk about, is like define the scope areas, elaborate and elicit requirements, write it down, analyze and document those requirements, then communicate properly to both the teams, identify identify the solution which is required. You will be surprised, like might be because see, if you go and talk to a developer or tools provider or a technology provider, the person will talk about the technology. Now the solution can lie in Excel only. So Excel is a kind of a very great technology for the users. So can be in Google Sheets, can be in some text form as well. So the solution to that requirement, how it is going to come is BA should be able to define that. Then verify the solution whether that solution meets the requirement and come back. So this is the kind of a role which business analysts need to play. Most of the time, like in the organization, what we have seen, there are people who they are users, they are functional departmental heads, they are doing that role. But since they are quite tied up in other aspects, so they will not be able to perform it in a structured manner, which can bridge the gap properly. But this is actually happening in terms of business analysis, and all those things are happening within the organization. The only thing is that the champion, the person in charge, may or may not be dedicated for that. So that is what my perspective in terms of what a business analyst need to do over there from the perspective of BI developers, and should have some related knowledge as well. Now, another important, I'll move to another slide. The important aspect to expect, like as a user, uh, as a person who is working within an organization and creating the information, what would you like to expect from BI software? So BI software, if you expect, so the what a BI software can give you a support system for your decision making. It can give you query, you can use your queries, your thoughts, your questions, you can ask from the BI system, you can create the reports, you can create the analytical processing over there, statistical analysis, you can use forecasting, data mining. So this is a very standard definition of how a BI software will work. A lot of times we have like seen BI software, can I do the data changes? Now, BI software is not meant for doing the data changes from the front, from the report. Normally in finance, it happens like, hey, I got a financial report. Now I got some issue to match the balances. What I will do? Yeah, I'll go and adjust over there. So that is basically a reporting system. In reports, you can change. In Excel, you can change. But in BI system, BI applications, the objective is what we have is to understand our data, which is there. Is not to make a financial report to submit for the audit or submit for the purpose of submission requirements of by the government compliances and all those things. It's mainly to get what we have, act on it, and forecast from there. So that is what a BI software you should expect over there. Then if you talk about like BI applications, those applications can be mission critical applications. It can be very important or integral to the enterprise operations, or you can meet an occasional requirement. So normally, let's say, hey, I only look for sales. So I should meet the occasional requirement of my sales team. So it can be enterprise wide, can be division or departmental or project basis. It can be centrally initiated. BI application can be central to all. Now the technologies like Microsoft Azure or AWS, they support centrally initiated BI. Basically what they will do, they will open up the umbrella for you to put the data in a lake. So we call it data lake. Why we call it data lake? Because it's like you just dump your data over there. It's like an ocean. Now you can centrally manage that you can have all your data from different systems, different places pumped into a lake, and then you can data scientists can take that data, consume that data, and come up with the models. That BI analyst can come up with the reports, and charts for your needs. So that can be centrally initiated or can be driven by the user demand. So let's say a user is looking for a very specific uh, need to understand and critical need, that can be separately catered. So we have the flexibility. See, this is, we are at a very good time in place now, uh, uh, in comparison to the last 10 years, because technology has advanced in such a manner that it can cater to all your needs at an individual level or uh, at an enterprise level, or it can be even catered as free, means like you have tools which are free as well to come up, and then you can spend a uh, over there, right place over there. So that is how we have BA softwares and BA applications. So what we have covered till now is basically about the role, about the applications, and now we are going to discuss more on the BA for BI, basically the boundaries of a project, and what is the concept of BA for BI all about. So basically, if we talk about business analyst, BA for BI, a BA, so what BA have to do is look for questions. So query, find the relevant business questions and ask the relevant questions. Or the best way to do that is for a BA is that I should prepare a checklist. I should prepare a complete checklist of questions which I'm going to ask from top to bottom. It can work, and then those check based on that, you can prepare the look for answers over there. So basically, the answers can be limited to an IT solution. But see, there is a challenge as well. A lot of time we have the answers which are existing to our data. So like if we talk about finance department, which is very straightforward, they have a standard structure, a standard report, from top to bottom, they are pretty standard and structure, and they have the standard expectation to submit those reports over there. So the process is quite generalized over there. But if we talk about like other departments and all those things, the answer may not be limited to IT solution. Maybe it will need a change in the process design, sometime an unnecessary step in the process, which can hinder the performance of the business. Uh, for example, like approvals of any application, which can take like management is sitting on 10 days and then the process is delayed for 10 days. So how you can improvise on that? So those kind of things are there, which are in the process design, in the organization structure, in behavior of the organization, cultural practices, it's the planning and control of the organization, or the overall strategy of the organization. So might be possible when the BA is evaluating the organization from the perspective of BI, might be possible the data is not getting created, might be possible there is uh, no, there is something which is happening without recording it in the form of what we need as the perspective of BI for the intelligence purpose, for the creation of the information purpose. The data, things happen, but data is not created. The records is not created. The metadata related to that is not created. So those things are might be lacking in terms of the planning and control in the process or the way of doing business. So normally in the smaller, let's say for example, a shop, they are selling something. So if we talk about the recording of the data, they sell in cash. So there is no records. So that those kind of things can happen and in an enterprise as well. That a lot of things which doesn't have the which is happening, but the data doesn't exist. So how to create that? There is a way to you can use Excel as well. You can start recording the data, and then you can come up with a solution over it. So basically, this is what business analysts should identify the relevant queries, questions, and look for the answers over there. Now, a for BA can look for aspects such as like he's aware of the interaction among them, is capable of prioritizing the necessary analytical steps, and the whole. So basically, he need to be he need to go and have an interactions. He need to be capable of prioritizing the analytical steps. The whole objective is at the end of the day, he should be able to find a solution for the business performance improvement, for the business change or rational, bring that rational in place. Now, how to find a solution? The solution can be operational solution, as we discussed, like solution can be strategic or tactical. So normally a top-down approach, top-down approach can help better in terms of, because things from the strategic level, things from the functional departmental levels, or down to the operational levels. So which area they have to go. So normally strategic, like management level, the quick one, you have the information, you can look into that and prepare them and get some outcome over there. That can be a better win to from the management, that how important BA for BI is, and then can go down to functional levels or operational level. It can be a bottom-up approach where you can solve the individual level problems and then market that solution within the organization over there. So that's there. So that's BA. So that's where we say that the boundaries of the project for BA for BI can be project basis or can be throughout the enterprise. Throughout the enterprise, it needs a strong will. When we talk about like enterprise level reporting or enterprise wide reporting, because it comes with a lot of requirements, a lot of people are involved, a lot of teams are involved, and then governance is required, data sharing, all those things BA need to look after it. So that is the that's why I said that throughout the enterprise, if you have to perform BA, a business analysis, or for BA for BI, you need to have a strong will for seeing your own information and get surprised. So that can be eye opener as well. Or on a project basis, like to check, okay, I do it as a small project, then I will market that project and then can go further over it. So that's there. So now, as a BA for BI, how do we translate business issues? How do we question, how we see the threats and opportunities, and how we translate them into a BI system and educatedly deal with them? So that is what the approach is going to be for the solution of BA for BI. Now, this is a little detailed further on the how a BA is going to start. So, and it gives some insights in terms of like as a business analyst. So as a business analyst, how I'm going to start and how I'm going to go further within the enterprise over there. So normally what happens, basically data management, which is something at a low level data analysis. So that is where BA can start his working his way up. So he can start with the current data, what we have, analyzing that low level data, and then further go up. Then it comes like when you have those low level data analysis done, you can move further to information management aspects, like master data management, creating that, generalizing that. Then data quality, right, and quality improvement of the data quality. For example, let's say for normal, if let's say you are recording a location, you record as KL, WPKL, Wilayah Persatuan KL, Wilayah Persatuan Kuala Lumpur. So you record differently. Now, when you record differently, the quality of data is not there for the purpose of analysis. So for the purpose of gaining the information. So that is where you need to use it as a tool. You need to further go create your master data. You need to improve and go into the strategy implementation. Improvising the quality of the data is going to be the objective of the second level, so way up. So if we talk about, let's say, a small project and all, we are only talking about data analysis, what data we have, low level data analysis and all. When we move further to enterprise wide, we actually move in these steps, these areas. So inform data management, is low-level data analysis. Then we move to information management. Now we are managing the quality. We are looking into the improvements in the quality of the data, and then we have some better reports, better charts, better graphs, better outcome visualization of the in data in the form of an information. Now, from there, we move to the process improvements. Now, when we go and move into the processes, where we have to see that how the processes are designed, is these processes are uh, can be modified. Now, any modification or any change in the process can bring changes over here as well. It can improve, it can also degrade. It can also be, so the processes have to be thought and discussed and planned properly in terms of that, okay, how the processes are designed and how the changes in the processes can help further. uh, what are the data created? Now, with the process, there is a data created, data associated with it. Now, the data is evolving further. Means like you are collecting the data continuously within a process. When you are collecting the data in information with that process continuously, you will be evolving that and understanding, and then you will be changing that over there. So that is where you need to understand how this data is continuously evolving over with the time. So time dimensions comes in place over there, and then you can come up with a process improvement. Now from there, once, so now you have data and data in place, you have quality of the data in place, you have worked towards your processes in the hierarchy. Now now it comes like capability. Now what is my capability as a business? My capability, my people, my manpower, my resource, my skills, all those things. So am I utilizing everything to the full advantage for the organization or not? Or am I competitive enough? Like, hey, for example, this work. Now this work, let's say I got one resource, people with systems in place. Now let's say if I implement some system with the same person, I add on one system over there, an IT system, which can improve. Let's say I got 10 call center people. Now, if I put a system with a virtual assistant, I can have, I can utilize among the 10, I can reduce the workload to 2 people, 2 manpower, and 8 manpower I can utilize in some other processes and other work which can add more value to the organization. But but if I'm not evaluating my call center effectiveness and efficiency without the facts and figures which created in the low level data analysis, I cannot move on further. I don't have numbers to move on. I don't have numbers to make decisions. I don't have those outcomes over there. But once we put a system in place, when we can improve the performance over there, then we can utilize those resource. We can upskill those resource. We can give them better knowledge and capabilities to do more. So that is where we move further, and we look into the strategic direction and capabilities of the organization. Now, now we are improving the performance of the organization, then in terms of how it is operating and all. Now the next topic in the value chain, in the capability after capability, is the value chain. Value chain is a simple way that how do an organization conduct its business. What is the value this organization have brought in, and what is the way they conduct the business, that needs deeper understanding. So basically, if we look at from here, after the process, this role becomes more senior. So business analyst is a business analyst. It should be a senior or senior role. A business analyst need to improvise his own skills or over there to capture that knowledge and efficiency over there to get into these areas over there. So in terms of, so that's where the domain, the business function, the knowledge about how the organization is conducting its business will come in place. So that's where we have this value chain over there. Then once you understand that, once you understand that, you are working towards it. So even within, let's say we are talking about the organizational capabilities. So if BA exists or doesn't exist, if organization plan from this perspective to up over there, then organization can have, a company can have the proper structure of the uh, uh, business intelligence kind of BI project, you can say, or you can say the complete business intelligence for their BI. And when I have the whole business intelligence in my hand in terms of, then I can work for improvements, work for changes, work for things over there, or I can take better decision, informed decisions, or I can have the facts and figures and numbers with me to, or supporting stuff for me to make decision. So that is where we look at how to conduct the business in an organization. So that's where we look at the value chain. From there, from the top, now we understand, okay, business runs like this, people, resources, data, everything is there. Now we have to look for the technology. Now, which technology can support end to end for me for my BI project, for my BI, for my information related to the business intelligence. That's where a person who with a senior role can come up with in terms of configuration of the whole business in line with the IT over there. Then the architecture like technical architecture or the structural architecture, how many applications we need, what applications we need, what systems we need in terms of our BI activities. And then the senior BA and BA for BI can go into further to get the knowledge related to the governance model. Governance model talks about is, see, the whole BI have to be governed properly in terms of, otherwise what will happen that you lose your data. See, finance data can be accessed by HR, so that is a kind of a gap which needs to be fulfilled. So that's where the governance comes in place, that hey, this data, this information should be accessible to the right person in place. How do I govern that data? How do I distribute that data? How do I take that data to the right users, consumers of that data? What kind of reports, what kind of information which should be given to the right person within the organization? Because if the data or information goes in wrong hands, it can be utilized differently. So that's where a business analyst also need to perform the data governance aspect within the contents and context of the organization or the BI project or the direction of the BI project. So that's there we have